girls and guys separated at weddings is truly a gift from Allah.
A righteous word escapes your mouth, Hamza.
I'd have thought you'd linger outside the wedding hall as long as possible.
That's the last thing I would do. 100 women, beautifully dressed and all in one place. Oh, I couldn't stand it.
That's your dream, Hamza. Choosing your bride from a sea of possibility.
That's what makes it so unbearable. In picking one, I'd lose something I love in each of the 99 other girls. I can't bear the thought.
Allah have mercy.
I guess it wasn't written for you and your latest babe from the bus.
We're just taking a break.
What happened? Actually, forget that. The answer is obvious.
Her brother has been threatening to go through her Facebook account. We need to play it cool for a while.
You're gonna get some poor girl killed one of these days.
They'd have to kill me first.
Oh, you're a real Romeo.
That death would be the perfect story to explain Hamza's life. Entertaining, but useless. Speaking of stories, I want to hear more about Allah telling one great story through all the prophets.
And I want to hear more about where you've been getting these ideas.
I'd never talk about Allah and his story from something I made up. It's all written in his word.
Allah knows I don't have the Quran memorized like Ali, but these ideas of forgiveness and sacrifice have been new to me, as well as the idea that the prophets all tell one story of a perfect beginning, a tragic corruption, Allah's plan of redemption, and a happily ever after.
And I found no hadith that speak about these ideas.
How can my love be so close and yet so far from me at the same time? Curse these traditions that have put a wall between us.
Enough, buddy. If you keep going on, I might start crying.
Stories from the lives of Adam and Bibi Hawa, Ibrahim, Musa, Dawood, Isa, and all the prophets are written in the Torah, Zabur, Injil.
You would dare instruct us on the truth of Allah Most High from corrupted books?
Your zeal for Allah is like a waterfall. I fear for the man standing beneath it. No, Ali, I would never speak about Allah from a corrupted source.
That is exactly what you've been doing.
The Quran never says the previous books are corrupted. On the contrary, it says go back and refer to the former books. O people of the book, you stand on nothing unless you uphold the Torah, the Injil, and what has been revealed to you from your Lord.
They distort words from their proper places and have forgotten some of what they were reminded.
Oh boy, this is heating up. Hamza, remember the store we saw down the street? Get us some snacks for the show. Popcorn, if they have it.
And what does it say was corrupted? The word itself or the meaning?
Both of them.
Really? Would you say terrorists corrupt the Quran itself or the meaning? The Quran never says the written word itself has been corrupted. I believe in the book which Allah has sent down.
We've all grown up knowing those books had been corrupted.
Did you grow up knowing those books had been corrupted? Or just hearing and repeating from others that those books had been corrupted? Wouldn't that contradict the nature of Allah?
How so, Professor? How so?
It's all so perfect and it's all so far away from me. The happiness, the bride, the honeymoon. Truly Allah must be great. What are we talking about? My mind can't be in this wedding hall any longer.
You know, stuff we usually talk about at weddings. Terrorism, the nature of Allah.
Why does Allah allow suffering?
Your suffering? That's easy. For our enjoyment.
Hang on, how does it contradict the nature of Allah?
Allah is able, yes?
Of course.
What's the most precious thing in the world?
I'll answer for Ali. He looks like he needs a deep breath. Allah's word.
Correct. Isn't Allah able to protect the most precious thing in the world?
I would protect my love to the death. I would die 100 deaths if that's what it took.
Hamza, you almost got through two sentences that made sense. The first sentence is wonderful. You would die for your love. You would use whatever power you had to protect her.
That's why Allah sent down the Quran, to be above reproach and incorruptible.
We did receive the Torah, wherein is guidance and light. Would Allah call something corrupt to be guidance and light?
Don't feel bad, Ali. He's smart for a living.
Of course. No one could corrupt the Quran today, correct?
Of course not.
And why not?
There are thousands and thousands all over the world.
My point precisely. Hamza, you've done it again. Yes, it would be completely impossible for someone or some group to collect all the Qurans from Morocco to Indonesia via Turkey and Saudi and change them.
Your point, Professor?
Let's take the Injil. Like the Quran, it quickly spread across the world. We have, to this day, thousands and thousands of manuscripts from all over the Mediterranean world from the time of Isa. And guess what?
What?
They all say the same thing. No one corrupted them.
Really?
And while we've got the map out, in the British Library in London, you can see today the Codex Alexandrinus, the Codex Sinaiticus, and in Rome, the Codex Vaticanus. They are complete manuscripts of the Injil from before the time of the Quran, and they're the same gospel we read today. And while we're on the topic of history, the idea that the Torah, Zabur, and Injil are corrupt only came 300 years after the Quran.
Wow, that's some pretty strong evidence, even if you did start speaking a different language at the end. Maybe that's why you don't have a girlfriend. I need to teach you to speak like me.
And the differences from the Quran? The false beliefs in the three gods?
My friend, that isn't in there at all. But let me ask you, if I wanted to know what marriage is actually like, would I ask Hamza or Mahmoud? If I wanted to know what actually happens in Titanic, who would I ask?
I've seen it 17 times, in case you were wondering.
If we're going to know about something and actually be able to talk about it rightly, we have to see it for ourselves.
So?
We all want to know as much as we can about Allah's story and our role in it. Shouldn't we read the whole script?
What are you proposing?
I propose we start reading the whole script. Let's start reading some stories from the Injil together.
I'm up for it. Let's look at it.
Man, I haven't opened up a book in ages.
Ali, it would be a good chance for poor Hamza to get his head in a book for a change. You up for it?
Inshallah.